Hello, and welcome back to Retrieving Sanity with your podcast host Keegan, and this is your podcast for all mental health, addiction, recovery issues, and topics. And today we had an interview ready to go, and I said that we were going to do it. And well, the thing is, the interviewee had a major change of pivot, uh, a major pivot change, whatever their exact wording was. I'm butchering it right now. So I'm just going to go ahead and say we're going to do an impromptu episode because I said we were going to do an episode. They didn't want to do an episode, so I'm going to do an episode because I feel like talking for some reason. It's one of those things. Again, I'm kind of growing into my personality for myself again, right? Being comfortable and accepting myself. And that's one of those things is that I'm learning a lot. And one of those things is probably sending out an email to make sure that we're good to go for an interview, probably a week before or so. And some of the times either the guest will or I will, and sometimes this one with Mary, we've rescheduled. I think this was the third time we had rescheduled. So we'd actually been trying to have like an interview since like December, I think. So I'm not really too surprised that it didn't happen, not gonna lie. But, anyways, what I can say is that, oh, it has been an interesting, well, really a month. Whenever I stopped and thought about it, it has been about a month of a break. And by a break, it's not really been a break, but again, just not going 110% and slowing down to like 30. The bare minimum to get everything going and keep it going, and then take that energy back towards myself and cultivate it, and hopefully something good comes out of it. So whenever I got the news that we're not doing the interview today, I was like, shit. Well, I gotta talk about something. What do I do? So I went in front of the mirror and started talking to myself because that's what crazy people do. And not really. It's I'm a verbal processor. Like I can sit there and I can think all day, but if I don't get to verbalize it, it doesn't really seem to stick in my own head. It's weird. It's kind of like people writing down things. If I don't voice it, then I'll either forget it or it doesn't really make an impact on myself. Why? I don't know. But it just works. So I was sitting there and I was kind of like, well, what can I talk about? And I was like, well, I feel weird, right? I feel weird. And I was kind of like, why do I feel weird? And it's because the break has finally started to really pay off. And I'm starting to have that energy that I was lacking. And it's a really strange one, too, because I don't know what to do with it, right? It's an energy that has slowly been building up, and I can kind of feel it. But at the same time, I was like, I'm not going to really pay attention to it building up and use it because maybe I need that energy for something else. So I was kind of sitting there and I was like, this is weird. Why don't I want to do anything with the energy that I'm getting because I may need it later? And it kind of got me into the whole ADHD thing of like, oh, I've got something planned at 2 in the afternoon. So from the moment I wake up, I can't do anything until that because something may make it mess up and just screw everything up. And so that's kind of how I am with my energy lately. And I was like, oh no, this isn't good because I already have the rat, the pack rat mentality. And it's not necessarily a good one, but it's not necessarily a bad one either. And what I mean by this is that sometimes it pays off. And whenever it has paid off, it's like, I knew it. Ah, yeah. But whenever it doesn't pay off, it's like, why do I still have all that crap? Oh yeah, because the moment I throw it away, I'll need it, and it it proves itself almost every time. So it's kind of like crap. But the thing is, whenever it comes to my energy levels, I've been really uh limiting on what I am expending, and so it's really one of those things that I didn't know I was doing until I started asking myself, like, what am I doing? Why am I not doing it? And part of it is because I'm getting used to myself again. I'm finally relearning the routines and just everything. So one of the things that I was kind of thinking about was that the pack rat mentality can be attributed into energy levels and stuff. So I started laying some stuff out, and I got some stuff that may make sense, may not make sense, but we're going to kind of dig through it a little bit together and see what happens. So, anyways, let's see. So, one might hoard personal energy, such as physical, mental, and emotional energy, out of fear of depletion, spending it inefficiently on things that don't truly matter, or leaving little for what's important. So, one of the things that we can do to really sit there and manage our energy in some ways that are a little bit better is by auditing it. And so that would be saying, hey, what is building me up? What is taking away from me in my energy levels, knowingly or unknowingly? And that can be through interactions with other people, interactions with yourself, the thoughts that you have. It can be anything really that sits there and has an impact on how I feel after I do that thing. So, either it's going to edify me and build me up. That's the word I was looking for yesterday. Or it's going to do something and pull me down. But um, recognizing my highs and lows are really important too, because if I can recognize whenever I'm low and I can take care of myself during those moments, I'll bounce back a lot faster. But if I sit there and I don't do much with my high energy levels, then I'm going to beat myself up for not doing anything whenever I had the energy. And then it's going to cause this weird cycle where it's like, oh, hey, maybe I shouldn't do that because I need the energy for later, you know? But, anyways, and I just noticed that there's a weird noise whenever I talk. And I think it's because of the noise thingamabobber. I need to get some stuff for the microphone, anyways, so it'll sound better because I'm an audiophile now. And this thing, as great as it is, definitely needs some work. But it's mostly because I don't use the XLR aspect. I don't. Hang on, wait. You ready for this? So if I were to plug it in that way, I think all my static and stuff would be eliminated. I don't know though, because I haven't tried it. So, anyways, um, what was I saying? Oh yes. So another thing I have to do is start to challenge the scarcity beliefs. It's like, am I really that low on energy? Am I not thinking that? Um, what was it? Am I hesitant to expend energy on something that I enjoy because I'm saving it for a vaguely defined future? Um, and now I have to sit there and say, is that based on past experiences or of burnout or a generalized anxiety? And well, it's kind of both. So now that I have this knowledge, I can kind of sit here and go, well, what can I do with that? And really, it's just kind of get creative. So whenever I spoke to Massimo Riati about the sober method, he's talking about essentially just trying things over and over and over again, but tweaking them and see what works. And that's what I love because that's what I do with like a lot of things in my life because you don't really know necessarily, but at the same time, I'm really bad at also saying, I didn't like it, so I'll just throw it away at that point, instead of going like, oh, let me just take it, analyze it, and go, what can I change? Or so sometimes my scientific brain likes that stuff, and sometimes the pack rat is like, nah. But wait, we need it. Uh, but let's see. So one of the other things is reframing energy, and it's to think of energy as not as a depletable resource, but one that's cultivated and renewed. So, like I was saying earlier, is that I've been saving my energy and cultivating it for essentially a new me, and that new me may not be a new me, but at the same time, it definitely feels like it. Whenever you've been really sick for a while and you wake up and you're not so sick, it's like, holy shit. Yeah, it's like that, but better because I wasn't sick. But sometimes it also feels worse because I wasn't sick and I still feel like shit. So it's like if I were sick, at least I'd have an excuse that was outside of myself, you know. But to each their own. So one of the things that I can do to declutter and invest my energy wisely is to prioritize ruthlessly. And that means deciding what my energy is really worth. And so that can really either eliminate some things that I like doing because it's like, oh yeah, they don't really do a whole lot for me in the end. And then it can also be like, oh, maybe I should do that more because it actually doesn't take as much energy as I thought it does. It just takes more time. And time and energy are not the same, even though they can somewhat equal out to be mm, interchangeable, almost, kind of, sort of. They work well together. Let's just put it like that. So, um, oh yeah, I forgot I wrote a lot. Okay, so use a prior. I don't know. Um, so use a tool like Eisenhower Matrix, which helps categorize tasks and as urgent or urgent and or important, and can help you decide where to focus my primary energy reserves. This is not an ad, by the way. This is just something that I was like, oh, maybe that could be a little helpful. So, will this matter test? Before committing energy, I can ask myself if this task or activity will significantly contribute to my goals or my well being. And that is one that, can get me in trouble too because it's like, yeah, yes and no. Because I see both sides of a lot of stories and it's like, yeah, no, yeah, no. So whenever it comes to that, I really do have to kind of dig down a little bit deeper and ask myself more questions. I have to get more curious. I have to figure out why that is. Because if I'm sitting there and running myself in a circle, then I'm not digging deep enough. And that's the problem is that a lot of the times I'll sit there and I'll be like, oh yeah, that makes a little bit of sense. I'll run with that. But then if I don't dig deeper, I find myself running in a weird circle, and it's like, oh, I've been here before, but why? And I can't seem to get out of it because it's called a fucking rut. But the thing is, one of the things I can do with my energy preservation, cultivation, whatever you want to call it, could be setting healthy boundaries for myself and for others. So I can learn to say no to myself and learn to say no to others. And saying a no to myself is really hard. So if you deal with addiction or compulsion issues or anything like that, you know what I'm talking about because I know exactly what it is I need to hear to make me go, oh, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Yeah, why not? Then, if I don't catch myself before that, then it's like, oh, yeah, that wasn't a good idea. Oh well, maybe I'll learn from next time. But the thing is, if I don't vocalize, if I don't recognize it, if I don't do those kind of things, then it won't really stick. So it's kind of those whole like being accountable to myself. Um, but then here's one, and this one was a suggestion. Limit energy vampires. Be mindful of people or situations that consistently drain energy or mental energy without offering anything positive in return. So we all know one, and even though it's a funny little psychic energy vampire thing, it's true. You can be around someone and you're just like, I don't want to be around this person because they just drain me. And the thing is, some people, it's not that they're like, give me your energy. I want it. Give me, give me, give me. And some people are just magnets to it, And that's the thing is that some people don't really know what's all going on around them, inside them at the same time, and doesn't really understand how that can affect other people without really doing anything. It's one of those weird things. Humans are very complex, and there's a huge line of muddy water, essentially, that is like, what can we say is real and works for everyone? Because it doesn't. That's just the thing. And, well, anyways, there we are. Invest in renewal or intentional recharge. So, scheduling rest, nourishing my body and mind, and engage in restorative activities are some of the things that I can do to help. really be active in the renewal of energy. So if I don't schedule my rest, then I'm not going to really find a way to get that energy back. And guess what? My body will find a way to do it for me. And it's not going to be at a time that I want it to be done. It's going to happen and it's going to be like, shit, I had all these deadlines due and all this, and I can't do anything because I don't have the energy and all this, blah, 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 blah. And it's because I push myself too hard for too long. If I don't give myself rest, I will burn out. I was on the burnout stage. I just did an episode about it yesterday, and I feel way better today. And I've been slowly feeling better over the last few weeks. Now, that's the thing is that, again, it's kind of like going to the gym. I'm not going to see the results right away. I'm going to slowly start feeling them. And then eventually, whenever the time comes to, like, oh, hey, I need to move that big, heavy thing, it's like, oh, I can do that now. I'm like, oh, yeah, I forgot I can do that now because I've been working on it. And that's just kind of how this is right now. Like, I know that this could be just fleeting, but I can recognize that now and I can do something with that. I can sit there and say, oh, hey, here's my peak, here's my valley. What can I do up here to make sure that this part is a smooth transition to the next peak? You know, it's one of those things that will take time, it will take experience, and it will take a lot of forgiveness, understanding, and patience. And boy, oh boy, I'm getting better at those. It did take a little bit, and that's the thing. I just have to give myself that time, a little bit of attention, recognition, validation, all that, because that's what I was lacking for a while from myself was all of that was just love. Just loving myself. I didn't love myself. I still have problems with it every now and again, but at the same time, it is what it is. And anyways, I'm looking at the clock over there on the stove. I don't know why, and it's 17:41 recording time. So I'm going to go ahead and call it here because that is good enough for an impromptu episode about energy conservation, preservation, pack rat mentality, and I didn't really get a whole lot of anywhere besides just telling you that hey, pay attention to your energy levels, do something about it. It'll help you out later. So who knows? Don't let yourself get into burnout. Your body will choose to take a rest for you, and it won't be ideal. Trust me. So love yourself, give yourself time to rest, and enjoy your weekend. I hope you have a good one. And until next time, have a good one. Schlan. Oh, wait. Mother's Day is tomorrow. Make sure to tell your mothers Happy Mother's Day. And then also, we do have an interview with Max tomorrow around, let's see, he's Mountain Standard Time at 2 p.m. So whatever that is, Central. I think it's 1. Yeah, or 3. One of the two. Yay, internet. I'll check it out later. But just be there, because I'll be there. And then tell your moms Happy Mother's Day. So, till next time. Later. Schlan.